All right, so we're on the back, number 4. They want you to find the interior, so they want you to find the sum of the interior. This is number 4. Each interior, and then an exterior. Okay, a lot of you did great on this, but let's just make sure you're solid, okay? Whatever. Let's say it's a 12-agon, okay? I'm just making it up. All right? So the sum of the interior, 180 n minus 2, okay? So I'm going to go 180 times 12 minus 2, which is 10, times 180 is 1800, okay? If I want to find each interior, I take that value and divide it by that. So I'm going to go now 1800 divided by 12, not that cool. And I get 150 degrees. To get the exterior, it's 360 divided by n. So which your n is 12, which is 30 degrees. Okay? I won't have you name a 12-agon because I don't know what it's called. Let's do another one. Actually, I think you guys are good on that one, okay? I think you get the idea. Number 5. They want the area of the sector. As soon as I see area of the sector, this is the formula. Okay? Area of the sector, boom. Okay? Because a sector is like a section. A section means it's only part of it. That's why it's not the whole circle, because this is the formula for the area of a circle. But it's only part of the circle. That's why it's over 360. So what you're going to do is you're going to see this, you're going to see this. That's so bad, sorry. Okay. 9 meters, and then let's say this is 40 degrees. Okay? So they just want to know the area of that region. So I'm going to take the 40, and that goes in there. And then I'm going to take the radius, because the radius implies half, and put it in there. So I'm going to go 40 over 360 pi times 9 squared. Now, if you're going to put this whole thing in the calculator, you're going to see how that's in parentheses. You need to put it in parentheses. 40 divided by 360, end parenthesis, pi, and then parenthesis, 9, end parenthesis, to the second power. Okay? So you want to make sure that's how you're doing it. You need to practice that and make sure you're good to go. And then I get 2827 meters. Area, since it's squared, whenever you see squared, that's squared. Okay? So, if you want to, you could have just put 81 because you know 9 squared is 81. If you want to, you could have put 1/9 instead of all that. But it doesn't matter. It's whatever you want. Okay? I don't think I need more than one example of that one either. I think you either get it or you don't. Number 6 was this one right here where I gave you a circle. And let's say 14 inches. And I want to know the area. And I want to know the circumference. Okay? The circumference is the outside of the circle. Okay? It's not perimeter because perimeter means sides. There aren't sides. It's a circle. So the formula for that is 2 pi r, which will be on the board. 2 pi times. Now here's the part where some of you are messing up. This represents the whole thing, your diameter. But this is your r, your radius. So they want you to take that 14 and cut it in half. So they want the 7 right there. Okay. 2 times 7 is 14. And let's go 14 pi. And I get 4398 inches. It's not squared. You don't see a squared. Now for area, the formula is pi r squared. So that means it's going to be, the area represents the inside. Okay? Like technically it's the outside and the inside because that has to be included. Pi times, well, we established the radius is half. 7 squared means 7 times 7, which is 49 pi. If you don't know that, you'll just plug it all in here. So 49 pi equals 153, not 93 because the 8 means it goes up. So it's 153.94. Inches, it's area squared. Okay, I don't think I need to do another example of that one. I think you're good to go. Okay. Number 7. Number 7 was a good little workout. This was a good little workout, okay? But I do think every time we practice it, you can get a little bit better. So I will do a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-sided shape, which is called a hexagon, okay? I want you to find the area. I want the perimeter. And I want the radius. Oh, I didn't give you a side. Let's say 6 inches. Okay. The easiest for me is to find the perimeter. How do you find the perimeter? You add all the sides. So 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6. Or just go 6 times 6, which is 36 inches. Don't forget the inches or you'll lose a point. Okay? All right. Now we've got the workout. Now we've got to deal with our triangles. Okay? If I was to make a triangle here. So remember we go from the big shape to the little shape to the half shape. Okay? This is the part that some of you messed up on. This is the whole thing, but this is just half of that because I'm cutting it in half. Okay? Now I need to know one more thing. I need to know the degree. So if I made a whole bunch of triangles here, it's 360 divided by 6. So 360 divided by 6, which is 60 degrees. So 60 degrees represents that. But we're cutting it in half. So it's 30 degrees. Now, if you're fancy, you'll do your 30, 60, 90. But most of us are just okay with doing our sine, cosine, and tan. So I'm going to cover this up. I don't have long side. If I don't have long side, it's automatically tan. Tan is opposite over adjacent, across, next to. If I'm going to solve this thing, first thing I do is multiply both sides by x. And then I divide by tan, 30. And then I'm going to put that in my calculator. So I'm going to go 3 divided by tan of 30. And I get 5.19, but the 6 rounds it up to 20. So x equals 5.20. So that means this is going to go right there. So I'm going to write right there. Okay? Now that I found x, I'm going to find y. So I'm going to cover up my x. So this is long side. So long side means tan's out. It's either sine or cosine. Since it's across, it's opposite. It's going to be sine. So sine of 30 equals 3 over y. And I solve it the same way. Multiply both sides by y. Y sine 30 equals 3. Divide by sine 30. And take that and plug it into my calculator so I can get y. 3 divided by sine of 30. And I get 6. So that means now this is 6. Okay? Now, I got a lot of information, but actually, you know what I got? Like I don't know if you can see this very well, but if you look here, this was this, and then I cut it in half, which means that's the diagonal. This diagonal right here represents that right there, which means, boom, that's the radius. So this, not this, this orange part represents, because it just happens to be similar. So this is 6 inches. Okay, area. The area is 1/2 base times height. So remember when we went from the big to the medium to the small? Now that we got all the information, we use the medium to get our answer. Some of you use that. So 1/2, 6 times my height, which is 5.20. And there's actually not just one shape. There's one, sorry, let me zoom that. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those. So 1/2 of 6 is 3, times 6 is 18. And now I'll pick up my calculator. and I get 93.6. I finally figured out the area. Okay? I'm not going to do another example of that one. That one took way too long. All right? And that's okay. All right. Solve using any method. So we're going to be factoring. I'm going to do 2 examples of this. First thing I do is make my box. First guy. Last guy. Make my magic X, -5. Then the middle guy goes here. Practice that if you're struggling on factoring. You've got to be good at factoring. It's not going to go away. I got to find 2 numbers that multiply to get 5 and add to 4. So all the ways to get 5 are just 1 times 5. So that's my only option. Whatever this guy is, the bigger guy gets it. Now I take this, and it goes there and there. I like positives with positives, negatives with negatives. They both have an X. Who should over? 1 times -5. Now set it equal to 0, which means do the opposite. Set it equal to 0, which means do the opposite. Let's do one more. Let's see. Okay, make my box. First guy, last guy, multiply them. Center guy goes at the bottom. So I want you to see this. Center guy, let me just kind of zoom out a little bit so you can see. Center guy is here at the bottom. Here at the bottom. I need to find 2 numbers that multiply and add to get 12. All the ways to multiply to get 12 are 1 and 12. That doesn't give me 8. 2 and 6. Ah, that gives me 8. So 2 and 6. It doesn't matter what I want to put where, but I'll put the 2 here and the 6 here. Cover that. X and X. Who should over? 2 times 6 is 12. Now I can do this. X plus 2. X plus 6. Set it equal to 0. 2 examples. Sorry, this is number 8, not number 9. Okay? Number 9 was the most difficult one, but let's try it. So number 9 was this one right here. So let me do a couple examples of number 9. So number 9, let's do 8x to the 6th to the 1/3. Okay? So my focus is here. So I need to change this thing so it's going to be something to the 3rd power. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try 1 to the 3rd power. No, that doesn't work. Now I'm going to try 2 to the 3rd power. Ah, that works. So that means it's 2. So 2 cubed, see how the 3's match? X to the 6th to the 1/3. Now I distribute this. The 3 and the 3's cancel, and I'm left with 2 to the 1st. But I got to distribute again. So now the 3 and the 6 turns into a 2, and 2 times 1 is 2. 2 to the 1st is 2, and I'm done. Let me do another one so you can see it. So I'm going to do another number 9. Okay? Let's do 16x to the 12th to the 3/4. Okay? What am I focused on? To the 4th. So I'm going to try 1 to the 4th. Nope. 2 to the 4th. Ah, it works. Is it always going to be 2? No, I'm picking bad examples. 2 to the 4th, x to the 12th, to the 3/4. Now I distribute. The 4 and the 4 cancel. I'm left with 2 cubed, which is 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. Then I have to distribute it again. 12 goes into 4 3 times, and 3 times 3 is 9. And there's my 2 examples of number 9. Okay. I'm going to have to do number 10 on a 3rd video.